Redfin just released a bunch of data highlighting a major shift in the housing landscape, especially across the Texas Triangle. When sellers outnumber buyers by such a massive margin, specifically 114% in Austin and 106% in San Antonio, it fundamentally changes the math of a real estate transaction. Here's an explanation on why this is happening and what the specific numbers mean for you in the local market. The Texas surplus is what we've got going on right now. Why Austin and San Antonio? Well, Texas is currently an outlier compared to the rest of the country. While the Northeast, like Nassau County, New York, is still a seller's market with 39% fewer sellers than buyers, Texas is flush with inventory. The overbuilding correction happened, and during the pandemic, Austin and San Antonio saw some of the highest rates of new construction in the country, and they're still going. Now that the boom has cooled, that surge of new homes is sitting on the market alongside existing homes, creating a massive surplus. The rent versus buy gap is also in play. In Austin, the gap is particularly stark. Local data shows that renting a home can now be significantly cheaper than buying. For example, a $500,000 home might cost $4,000 a month to own with a 5% down payment, but that same house might rent for only $2,500 a month. This has pushed many potential buyers to remain renters, leaving sellers with fewer bites. Now, the investor retreat is happening. Many institutional investors and flippers who were active in 21 and 23 have stepped back due to higher interest rates, removing a large chunk of that buyer pool that typically keeps inventory moving. Now, breaking down the national gap. The national gap, 37.2% gap, roughly 529,000 more sellers than buyers, is a result of a buyer's retreat. Now, why buyers and sellers are becoming skittish, buyers are retreating faster. This is primarily because of the lock-in effect. Many sellers have to move due to jobs, family, or life changes, but many buyers don't have to buy and are choosing to wait for rates to drop even further. Now, let's talk about the leverage shift for 2026. Now, because Redfin defines a buyer's market as an area where sellers outnumber buyers by more than 10%, Austin and San Antonio aren't just buyer markets, they are super buyer markets. What that looks like on the ground is price flexibility. In these markets, homes are selling for an average of 1.6 below the final list price. That's the steepest November discount in 6 years. The extended days on market. In San Antonio, homes are sitting on the market an average of 86 days. This gives buyer the luxury of time to find multiple properties to look at and create a bidding war of themselves trying to figure out what they want to do. Now, concessions are back. Sellers are offering a lot of money for rate buy downs and for closing costs. Now, another thing that's happening with mortgage rates hitting a year-end low of 6.15%, the biggest question for 2026 is whether these waiting buyers will finally re-enter the market and start closing that gap between sellers and buyers. Now, the real estate market is changing faster than the headlines can keep up with. If you want the truth about what's happening in Universal City, Cibolo, Schertz, or anywhere in the San Antonio area, hit that subscribe button and join other locals that are staying ahead of the 2026 market.